Hey,
What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
what's up, man? How are you?
Chilling, chilling. It's a little earlier on my side, but you know what? It's all good. Anything for you, bro. Anything for you. I was mentioning to a lot of your fans here in the Bay Area. I was talking to you. They're like, "Oh my God, is he coming to the studio?" I'm like, "No, we're doing this via Zoom." And they got sad, but they were like, they told me so many different things they wanted me to ask you. And everyone in the Bay is so excited I'm talking to you today. So thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time and your busy schedule because I know it's
Oh
probably been
man.
nonstop for you.
Oh man. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, it's been busy, but it's all been like really cool, amazing stuff. So I've been like, I don't know, getting a chance to talk to, people just like yourself about this song is cool and about the album. It's crazy. I don't really get what's
Absolutely.
going on.
Word. Yeah, the song's going crazy. Like we know it was out 2 years ago, and it's been pretty nuts. Like it's been nonstop. I know it has to be exciting for you. And just to kick things off, and my daughter told me not to tell you this because she felt like it was going to be super embarrassing. But I know a lot of your interviews, it always goes, towards Stranger Things because it's a big deal. Obviously, it's the biggest show like of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I've never watched the episode.
Oh, that's okay.
Word. I told her you weren't going to be mad at me or judge me or anything like that, but she was like, "No, don't tell him that. That's not good. That's bad."
If
So,
I wasn't in it, I probably wouldn't watch it either because I feel like I have a natural tendency to, if someone's like, "Oh, you got to watch this," if everyone's like, "Oh, you got to watch this," "Oh, you got to watch this," I'm always like, "I'm not gonna watch it."
word. Yeah, yeah. There's posters of you in her room.
Oh wow.
The fact that I haven't watched it is crazy to her.
Well, tell her I say hey.
Word, absolutely. So, music since I'm pretty sure you've been doing music forever, but like music being released since 2019 is obviously a passion of yours. What got you into music in general? Like what was the influence that got you started?
Yeah, I was always into it ever since I was a kid and playing instruments and stuff. But I feel like when I started recording music on my own,
Yeah.
I feel like there was kind of like an explosion of like bedroom recording music and when I was in late high school, early college, and I just kind of sort of started. I'm a pretty independent person, so I when I started being able to do it by myself is when I really started to enjoy it. And I'm not necessarily like a insanely talented guitar player, insanely talented bass player. I can really get by on all these instruments, the drums and whatever, what have you. But it's in the recording and the arranging. I feel like I can kind of do what I need to do to make the stuff that I want to make. And yeah, that was really where I first started to imagine, oh, this is like a project I could really kind of pursue.
That's awesome. What was your first setup like? The first setup, like, did you just have a laptop, you had a mic? Like, what was the first setup for you when you first got started recording?
Man, I've never been asked this question, and I
Yeah.
love this question. I was in my parents' garage with no heat in Massachusetts, so it's like 35 degrees
Oh
in
man, I
winter,
can't even imagine.
with like a drum set with one mic. And I think I had one mic. I had like a SM58 that I was sharing between all the stuff. I was going through like a weird mixer thing. It wasn't even like an interface. It's like a weird mixer into an interface. And I was
Yeah.
in going into GarageBand. Just like horrible, pretty much. Just like the most
Sure.
terrible, horrible thing you can imagine. Like but it was fun. I don't know. I don't have a bunch of those songs, but me and my friend Sam, who plays in the live band now, we also would record in his basement. And some of those early recordings that we would make just for fun are like just so fun to look back on. So yeah, humble beginnings.
Word. I mean, I feel like everyone started somewhere, right? Like you, garage band. I think I wasn't doing music. I was recording myself, like, because I wanted to be on the radio for so long. I was using. You remember Mixcraft? Mixcraft was a thing.
No, I don't.
There's so many different softwares that you can use, but yeah, I definitely was using the best one. So I respect that,
Yeah.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love the beginning stages of it.
Fun. Very
Do you ever
fun.
just sit back and listen to that music from those days and just reminisce of that time?
Not a ton, not often. If I'm with my friends, sometimes I will. My friend Sam, who actually now lives in Chicago. But yeah, sometimes I'll listen to like old I was in this band Post Animal and I'll listen to like some old music that we did together and have a similar feeling.
Is it weird to drive around listening to your own music?
You know, especially when I'm working on stuff, I'm listening to it all the time. I'm like,
Got you, got you.
and I think it's almost kind of like exclusively sometimes I'll just listen to it because I don't want to like get influenced too much maybe by other stuff. But no, I don't think it's weird because when I'm listening to it, I also feel like I'm working on it. You're kind of always working on it, and you don't know when like the idea will kind of strike. So I'm always
Mhm.
trying to like it's a balance between listening to it a lot and trying to like not listen to it. So because sometimes you want to just get I don't know, overloaded on the thing and get sometimes you can get burnt out by listening to it too much. So it's a balance.
Yeah, I like how you shared the voice note for in the beginning with everyone, like how
Yeah.
everything started, the process, and everything like that. I'm pretty sure you got millions of those voice notes in your phone right now.
Yeah.
How do you go through them and just figure out like which ones you want to continue developing?
I feel like you're asking amazing questions, man. Also,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. I feel personally like there's generally a spark. It's never really lyrics. It's always just like the melody and the chords. And I feel like kind of right away I get a sense of like, okay, this is going to be something that I want to like pursue or is worthwhile. And it kind of started with End of Beginning actually, because that song was done where it was just like chords and melody. And so over the past, since the record came out, I've been working on new music, and that's sort of been my directive is to like, let's do this really simply with a guitar and just me singing, and let's just try to get the core of a song and then stash those away. And then when we get to the studio, let's flesh them out. So, um, yeah, I think it's just like reps, really getting reps and like trying to expand as many songs as possible because it's easy to think that like every song that you're gonna do is like your best new song, but that's not true. And it's better to just like take wild swings and just try to follow wherever the song is bringing you.
Absolutely, that's incredible. That's awesome. Love that. Now, this record that we've been playing like crazy in the beginning, like people relate to it so much, and it seems like everyone relates to it in their own special way. Like they all have their these different stories and these different reasons why it hits them so much. Why do you think that this song, is hitting people the way it is?
Hard to say. I mean, really hard to say, but I guess I mean it means something to me
Absolutely.
pretty deeply. And so I guess it's a lesson in the specificity from my own life really seems to have like transferred to everybody else's and trying to be as specific rather than as broad as possible appeals to more people. And I think it's just about like saying goodbye to a time in your life and you didn't kind of realize that it was ending.
Yeah,
And so there's a sense of like great sadness, but then also excitement for the future is the feeling that
absolutely.
it gives me. So yeah, it's been like amazing, man, to be
Right.
honest. Like to see people connect with something that I've written has been a new sense of gratitude that yeah, I'm really appreciative of.
Absolutely, that's awesome. I know it has to be like a crazy time for you. And you've been doing amazing things for years, right? And the music has been going on for a long time, but it has to be amazing because like it seems like from what I've noticed looking back into it, it's like it comes in waves when people realize like the song and especially realizing that it's you doing the song. Because you changed your name. Well, you didn't change your name, you just, kind of
A little
like made
sneaky, yeah.
history. What's the difference? There may not be a difference, but what's the difference between the two Joes? Like, Joe the artist, Joe the actor, and then everything else that you have going on. Like, what's the difference? Is there a difference? Does anything change about you when you go into the studio or when you hit the stage? Do you like, do you got this euphoric feeling where you just completely change when you're on set? Like, what's the difference?
No, I think it's like for I kind of the way that tried to I just wanted to name the music project something and dress differently so that it would draw attention away from the fact that I'm the guy from Stranger Things, just because at that point, we'd had a lot of press about the show. So I just kind of wanted people to listen to the music with an open mind. And if it did well, it would do well on its own. And if it did poorly, then it could just, go away and nobody would listen to it. Um, and so in a way, it's kind of like a different role sort of that I've made for myself. And that being said, it is though, I'm singing about stuff that's really personal to me. I'm not putting on anything, and it's all about me and my life. Um, Being on stage, I guess, is another thing. It's kind of like fun to be sort of dressed differently and not feel totally like myself. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of try to continue to follow what feels right. And I think something that I really love about music and art is when something is surprising and unexpected. And there is something that's a little surprising about the discovery that I'm the guy that made this music. So, I guess trying to follow ideas like that because I think it's exciting and this like the discovery element for an audience member can be really it can give you kind of like ownership over the music. Be like, oh
Absolutely.
yeah, when you tell your friend, you're like, oh, and did you know that, this is it's like you kind of like discovering this kind of secret thing and you're in on the secret. And I like that. And I've always been a fan of things that are like that. So yeah, that was kind of that idea.
That's awesome. I seen like a bunch of TikToks recently where people are like discovering that it's you, and they're like freaking out. And I think that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing that goes towards Stranger Things. I know it's like a lot of your castmates. They're in the music. They do their own music thing every here and there, and they sing and stuff like that. Have you ever recorded anything with them?
We don't record, but we definitely talk about music all the time. Like the other day, me and Charlie, we were doing auditions together. We were like doing a self-tape, and he has like a drum set up at his house. And so, yeah, we're talking about he's playing the drums. We're talking about music. It's all like, yeah, like Maya was showing me some of her music before it came out. It's cool. Finn, obviously, he lives down the street from me, and we talk music all the time. It's just kind of like this shared interest, I guess. And at this point, we're all good friends, so we can just
Yeah.
kind of like hang and talk about music, and it's
If
amazing.
if you could do a song with any of your castmates, who would it be, and like why would you choose that particular person? Not to leave anybody out, but I'm just
I
saying
would
like who.
choose I would choose David Harbour, and it would have to be like a screamo metal track, and he'd have to scream all the lyrics. That's what I would choose.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Look, I'm looking forward to you possibly going on tour. I know your schedule's super crazy, super hectic. I'm not sure what you're up to today, but like, is that something that you're looking forward to doing in the near future?
Yeah, man, definitely. I was in Post Animal, and I kind of left the band right as they started becoming like a real touring band, touring the country, and it's kind of like this unchecked box that I
Yeah.
have not been able to do. So once the show kind of wraps and I am entering this kind of new phase of my life, yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and it would be amazing to be able to tour the music from Decide and to tour maybe the music from this new album. And in the past, having such a busy schedule has kind of prevented me pouring enough energy and time, because being a touring musician, I have so much respect for the people who do it because it's so difficult and takes so much discipline. And so to be able to do it well and with the correct amount of resources and really give people the show that they deserve to see, and the show that I imagine would be that's really my one goal. And yeah, it would be a great honor for me to do that. I would love to do it.
Right, right. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's awesome. And one thing, like the song in the beginning, like it's about you going away to college and everything like that. Class of 2024 is getting ready to wrap up, and they're getting ready to make those journeys and make those decisions and go to different places. And what advice do you have for someone graduating high school, getting ready to move away from home and be in this new element? And because you've experienced this, you've gotten out there, you've been on your own, and you made things happen. You've been very successful. But I'm sure throughout that journey, there's been times where you probably doubted yourself or were a little, homesick. You wanted to go home. You know what I mean? What
Mhm.
advice do you have for those people that are getting ready to move on to the next step?
Don't let anyone else's like decisions about their life affect you and the way that you think about your life and the decisions that you want to make. I think it's important to follow your own interests and do things that make you feel good. And yeah, I think just life, I don't know, for me, it really is all about doing what makes you happy day to day. And so if you can find something that you really love to do, just do it and just continue to follow that as far as you can. And the other thing, which is I think a core thing about the song is to, it's great to be excited about the future and it's great to be ambitious, but it's also, you know, great to enjoy the moment that you're in and to soak it up while you have it because you don't know when your life is gonna change. So, appreciate those moments with your friends and appreciate those moments with your family. And yeah, yeah, that's what I'd say.
That's awesome. Joe, bro, thank you so much for your time, man. I know schedule's probably crazy,
All good.
all that stuff, but I do appreciate
Pleasure.
you giving me a few minutes
Yeah, man.
today.
I
And
have to say, you asked me my favorite questions. I feel like in the past 2 months that I've been doing all this stuff, you've asked me like the best questions. So thank you, man.
oh man, thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. I
I
definitely
swear.
I'm gonna go to my daughter and tell her immediately that
Yeah, tell
I
her.
asked her the best questions. You know what I mean? Because she was so nervous, bro. She was so nervous. She was talking crazy to me. But no,
Uh,
I do appreciate you. I appreciate the music. I look forward to hearing the new music. I know you're cooking up, ready to come crazy at us with even another project. So
yeah,
we're pretty excited about that, man. We look forward to having you in the Bay Area.
cool, man. Can't wait to be there.
All right, thank you so much. I'll talk to you
You got it.
soon.
Talk to you soon, man.
Peace.
Peace.